Dear students, let's start the analysis of basic radicals, that is cations, under the salt analysis. Let's start with the basic radicals, cations. It's experiment number 12. 11 experiments related to acidic radicals have already been shared with you. So the cations, they have been divided into groups starting from group 0, as you can see here, 0 group cation, which is ammonium, and it is till group 6. So total 7 groups are there. Group 1 to 6, they contain metallic ions, but this is ion which is having nitrogen and hydrogen in it. So it is different from them. And the reason to put it in 0 group separately is that its precipitation in the form of its compounds is difficult because of the solubility product. But when I start from group 1 and move towards group 6, there is increasing solubility product. This is how they have been categorized. But ammonium salts are difficult to get precipitated. That's why it is kept totally separately from the other groups. Now first you will carry out the physical test. You will see the color. If the color is white, then you will write here in the observation part that it's white. And white salt tells you in the inference that it may be NH4 plus ammonium, Pb2 plus, Al3 plus, Zn2 plus, calcium, barium, strontium with 2 positive charge each, or magnesium. Any one of them may be present. So that will be your inference if it is white in color. If it is blue in color, you will write blue here and write it may be a Cu2 plus salt. That Cu2 plus ion may be present. If it is reddish orange, you'll write reddish orange in the observation, and in the inference you will write Fe3 plus may be present. And if it is having light pink color, then the inference would be it may be cobalt CO2 plus, or it may be manganese Mn2 plus. So this is how you will write the physical test when you actually see the salt in the lab. And after the color, you will just smell the salt from a distance, not from very close. And if it is smelling of rotten eggs, then it might be sulfide S2 minus. We have already done it in the anionic part. If it is giving you the smell of ammonia gas, the salt, then you will write that it is possible that NH4 plus may be present. And if it is giving you the smell of vinegar, then you will write that it might have CH3CO minus, that is acetate ion may be present. And then you will check the solubility. So generally in your syllabus you have soluble salts and those which are white in color, so that by just by looking at the color you cannot distinguish that, yes, you cannot identify that this is the salt given to you, because ultimately once you complete all the cations and anions you have to uh, carry out experiment to analyze the given unknown salt, that which cation and which anion is present in it. Then we'll carry out sodium hydroxide test. You will take pinch of salt and add sodium hydroxide solution to it. Then you heat the test tube gently. It will give you a characteristic smell of ammonia, because right now we know that we are carrying out the test for NH4 plus. So characteristic smell of ammonia will be obtained. And as soon as you see bubbles in the test tube, that means some gas is coming out, then you bring a glass rod dipped in dilute HCl near the mouth of the test tube, and you will see that there are dense white fumes produced, which tells you that yes, NH4 plus is present there. Then there is another test, Nessler's reagent test. Again, you take a pinch of the salt and add NaOH and heat gently. This you did in the sodium hydroxide test also. Same thing is happening here. Ammonia gas will come out. But you have to do it again, because there, by the time you bring the glass rod dipped in dilute HCl and observe white fumes, the all the ammonia, most of the ammonia which is produced must have been evolved. So I have to carry it out again. And as soon as you see the bubbles, Then you collect them in a test tube by inverting an empty test tube over this test tube in which you are carrying out the test. And then you pass this gas through Nessler's reagent. This can be done in the W-shaped tube also that we used for carbonate. So you will get reddish brown precipitate, which will confirm that there is NH4 plus. So these two are the tests that you have to carry out. And then the result, the given salt contains ammonium ion in it. The reactions involved, when you take salt with NaOH and you heat it, it evolves ammonia. And this ammonia on reaction with HCl produces NH4Cl gas, dense white fumes. Then you have Nessler's reagent, which is K2HgI4. It reacts with the evolved ammonia in the presence of base and it produces NH2HgOHgI. This is a complex which is formed here, and this particular compound, the solid, has that brown color which we observe to confirm that there is NH4 plus present. Along with that, you will get Ki and NaI. Experiment number 13, that is first group, group 1 of cations. It has lead in it, Pb2 plus. So same way you will carry out the physical test and write the color and inference here, order and inference here if you can make out anything, and then characteristic smell I was talking about, color I was talking about, then finally the solubility. Take small quantity of the salt and mix it in water, shake it properly and see it should be soluble. If not completely, then sparingly it should be soluble. Only then you can carry out the test by making aqueous solution. So, and then you will write the inference accordingly here that the salt is soluble. After that, you will carry out these tests, simple ones, to the aqueous solution. Take small quantity of the salt, add water, shake properly, you will get the aqueous solution of the salt. Then you add dilute HCl to it and you will get a white precipitate. This dilute HCl here is called group 1 reagent because by adding this chemical you can make out that some precipitation is taking place, which gives you an indication that Pb2 plus may be present, and then we will carry out the other confirmatory tests. So this is the preliminary test. And what is dilute HCl? It is called the group reagent. Now you will collect the precipitate that you have obtained, this white one. Take small quantity of the precipitate in a test tube, add water and heat it, boil it so that it mixes again properly in hot water. Divide the solution into two parts. The white precipitate will dissolve. That is your observation, right? So here I will not say 100% confirmation, but yes, we have other tests which will confirm it further. But yes, if you have this white precipitate obtained and that is dissolving in hot water, then there are chances that Pb2 plus will be there. So how will I confirm it 100%? I will dissolve the precipitate in water first, that I have done here, and divide it into two parts. To one part, you add a few drops of potassium iodide solution, Ki. It will give you yellow precipitate instantly, which confirms it is Pb2 plus. And to the second part, add few drops of potassium chromate, K2CrO4 solution, not potassium dichromate. Students do this mistake. Instead of K2CrO4, they add K2Cr2O7, which is orange in color. You don't have to add that. You have to add K2CrO4, which is yellow colored solution, and it will give you yellow precipitate instantly. So these two tests, they confirm that there is Pb2 plus in the given salt, and then the result, the given salt contains lead ion, Pb2 plus ion in it. Now the reactions involved, first is with group reagent dilute HCl. White precipitate is because of the formation of PbCl2. And when you dissolve it in water and then carry out the reaction with Ki and K2CrO4, the yellow precipitation is because of the formation of lead iodide PbI2 and lead chromate PbCrO4. So this completes group 0 and group 1. Very soon I'll share the group number 2 and 3 with you. Thank you.